The 2026 Ford Mustang Dark Horse is the most focused factory Mustang money can buy. 5 liters of naturally aspirated Ford V8, 500 horsepower, MagneRide dampers reading the road 1,000 times a second, launch control, a Torsen diff, and a stability system sharp enough to make an average driver look brilliant. 0 to 60 in about 4 seconds flat. On paper and on a dry drag strip, it walks away from almost anything Ford has ever built. So let's be honest right up front. Line any of these forgotten homologation Fords against a Dark Horse on clean, dry tarmac, and the modern car wins. Every time. But outrun is a bigger word than a quarter mile. Change the battlefield to the one each of these cars was actually built for. A soaking rally stage, a banked superspeedway, a drag strip on slicks, a road course with the boost turned all the way up. And 8 forgotten Fords will hand a brand new 500 horsepower Mustang its taillights. A couple of them beat it in a race the Dark Horse can't ever win at all. Here they are, counting down. Number 8. The Ford Capri RS 3100. Start with the underdog. The road-going RS 3100 of 1973 isn't going to trouble a Dark Horse anywhere. Its enlarged 3.1-liter SX56 made just under 150 horsepower, and only 250 were built to satisfy the homologation rulebook. On the strip, the Mustang laps it. But the RS 3100 existed for one reason, to make its race engine legal. And that engine was something else entirely. Ford handed the job to Cosworth, who took the humble Essex block and turned it into the GAA, a 3.4-liter, 4-cam, 24-valve V6 with mechanical fuel injection that screamed to nearly 9,000 revolutions per minute and made well over 400 horsepower. In a Group 2 touring car at the Nürburgring, that shrieking Cosworth is a genuinely different experience from the Mustang's deep linear V8, higher revving, more frantic, more race car than road car. The Dark Horse is faster point to point. But nothing Ford sells today sounds like a GAA on full song. That's the RS 3100's win. Number 7. The 1969 Ford Torino Talladega. The Talladega is a child of the aero wars, when NASCAR manufacturers discovered that slippery bodywork won championships. Ford stretched and smoothed the Torino's nose, rolled the front fenders under, and tucked the grille back, all to cut through the air at speeds a standard Torino could never reach. Around 750 street versions were built to make the shape legal, each carrying a 4.28 Cobra jet. Put a Talladega on a road course and the Dark Horse drives away. The old car is heavier, softer, and down on grip. But that was never its arena. The Talladega was built for one thing, flat-out stability on a high-banked superspeedway. In full NASCAR trim, that aero nose let it run comfortably beyond 190 miles an hour, lap after lap, at speeds the Dark Horse's aerodynamics and gearing simply aren't built to sustain. On the banking at Talladega or Daytona in the environment it was shaped for, this forgotten Torino leaves a modern Mustang staring at the horizon. Most people never saw one. Even fewer ever saw one do what it was actually designed to do. Number 6. The 1971 Ford Falcon GTHO Phase 3. This one's an honest heritage entry and it earns its place. The Australian Falcon GTHO Phase 3 was a homologation special built so Ford could dominate Bathurst, roughly 300 made, each with a heavily worked 351 Cleveland 5.8 punching out around 380 horsepower, a top-loader 4-speed, and a locking 9-inch diff. On today's stopwatch, a Dark Horse simply drives away from it. The Falcon runs 0 to 60 in around 6.5 seconds against the Mustang's low 4s. So no, in 2026, it won't outrun a modern Mustang in a straight line. But drop both cars back into 1971 and the story flips completely. The Phase 3 was, by a distance, the fastest 4-door production car on the planet, a genuine family sedan that could embarrass Ferraris and Astons, then go and win the Australian Touring Car Championship with Alan Moffat at the wheel. It beats the Dark Horse in the one race the Mustang can never enter, being the untouchable king of its own era. That's why one recently sold for over $1 million. Number 5. The 1969 Ford Mustang Boss 429. The Boss 429 is the poster child for rare Ford. Ford built a semi-hemi 429 engine specifically for NASCAR, but the thing was physically too big to fit a Mustang. Rather than give up, Ford shipped the cars to an outside firm, CarCraft, who hand-widened the shock towers and reworked the front frame rails just to shoehorn the engine in. Fewer than 1,360 were built this way, each essentially assembled by hand. Here's the honest part. As delivered, the road-going Boss 429 was deliberately detuned and heavy, and a Dark Horse beats a stock one comfortably. But that was never the point of the engine. The whole reason the Boss 429 exists is that semi-hemi motor, and in the NASCAR Grand National trim it was homologated for. That same architecture made north of 600 horsepower. In the race car it was built to legalize, the Boss 9's engine leaves a Dark Horse for dead. The street car was just the ticket of admission. Quick one, if you're enjoying the countdown, hit subscribe. It genuinely helps. Now, back to it, and the top 4 is where the Mustang starts actually losing races. Number 4. The 1964 Ford Fairlane Thunderbolt. If you want a forgotten Ford that beats a Dark Horse in a straight line, here it is. The Thunderbolt was a pure factory drag weapon, roughly 100 built to satisfy the NHRA rulebook, with the engineering team treating weight as the enemy at every turn. Fiberglass front panels, plexiglass windows, deleted sound deadening, stripped interior, and a 427 high-riser dropped into a mid-size sedan that had no business being that quick. In full drag trim, a Thunderbolt ran the quarter mile in the 11s back in 1964, genuinely quicker to the end of the strip than a Dark Horse manages today, 6 decades later. Think about that. A car older than the moon landing on skinny period slicks outdrags a modern 500 horsepower Mustang off the line and to the stripe. It's not comfortable, it's not sophisticated, and it can barely turn a corner. But in the one discipline it was built for, this forgotten Fairlane still has the Dark Horse covered. That's a giant killer in the truest sense. Number 3. The Ford Escort RS Cosworth. Now we get to the cars that don't just match the Mustang in their element, they embarrass it. The Escort RS Cosworth was a homologation special built to go rallying. A 2-liter turbocharged Cosworth 4 making around 224 horsepower, driving all 4 wheels, and famous as the first mass production car to make real downforce at both ends. On dry tarmac, the Dark Horse's extra power and modern tires win, but nobody built an Escort Cosworth for dry tarmac. Put both cars on a soaking, greasy, broken rally stage, the surface this car was born on, and it's not close. The Mustang is rear-wheel drive, 500 horsepower, and 2 tons. It's fighting for traction before it's out of first gear. The Escort just hooks up all 4 tires, fires its turbocharged surge out of every corner, and disappears. On low-grip, 4-driven wheels and rally-bred suspension beat raw horsepower every single time. A Dark Horse doesn't lose to this car on the stage. It gets left behind. Number 2. The Ford RS 200. The RS 200 is the real exotic, a purpose-built Group B monster and the only genuine mid-engined all-wheel drive car Ford ever put on sale. The engine sits behind the driver, but the gearbox is mounted up front for near-perfect balance, fed by a clever twin driveshaft system that made the car astonishing on gravel. Only around 200 road cars were built to homologate it. The road version made about 250 horsepower and suffered brutal turbo lag. Below 4,000 RPM it's sluggish, then the boost arrives like a detonation. But in the trim that mattered, the competition Evolution cars, that Cosworth engine was tuned well past 400 horsepower, with some builds chasing 600. Point a Group B RS 200 down a loose special stage, and a Dark Horse has no answer at all. The mid-engine balance, the 4-wheel drive traction, and that violent turbocharged surge make it a weapon on exactly the surface that reduces a rear-drive muscle car to a smoking sideways passenger. This is what purpose-built actually means. Number 1. The 1987 Ford Sierra RS 500 Cosworth. The rarest and most dominant of them all. Ford built the Sierra RS Cosworth for Group A touring car racing, then created the Evolution model, the RS 500, and had Aston Martin Tickford convert exactly 500 road cars to make it legal. The genius was in the detail: a thicker walled block, a bigger Garrett turbo, a larger intercooler, and a second set of fuel injectors, and a second fuel rail that sat completely dormant on the road cars, wired to do nothing at all. They weren't there for the road car. They were there so race teams could switch them on. And when they did, with a different map and the boost turned up, the road car's 224 horsepower became an easy 485 in Group A trim, and the wildest examples made north of 550. In race trim on a circuit, an RS 500 was so dominant it effectively rewrote the rulebook, a lightweight, forced induction giant killer that would drive around a Dark Horse on any proper track. The market knows exactly what it is. A single RS 500 recently sold at auction for nearly £600,000, roughly 30 times its original showroom price. It's the ultimate expression of everything on this list, a humble family shape hiding a homologated secret, built for one reason: to win. So there they are, 8 forgotten homologation Fords and 8 honest answers to that dark horse. On a clean dry strip, the modern Mustang beats every road-going one of them, and we're not going to pretend otherwise. But racing was never only about a dry strip. Flood the stage and the Escort and the RS 200 vanish into the spray. Turn up the boost in Group A and the RS 500 rewrites the result. Point the Talladega down a superspeedway or launch the Thunderbolt down a drag strip, and the Mustang's 500 horsepower suddenly isn't enough. And the Falcon and the Boss 9, they win the race that never ends. The one for rarity, legend, and the kind of history you can't build in a wind tunnel. Now, some of you are already typing it in the comments. What about the GT40? And you're right, so let's be straight about why it isn't on this list. It's not because the GT40 can't beat a dark horse. It's because beat is the wrong word. Its race engine made nearly 500 horsepower in a car that weighed barely a ton, and it ran past 200 miles an hour for 24 hours straight. A GT40 doesn't outrun a modern Mustang. It puts a lap on it and then does it again. But it never belonged here for 2 simple reasons. This was a list of forgotten Fords, and the GT40 is the most famous racing car the company ever built. And these were road-going homologation specials, humble shapes hiding a race secret, while the GT40 was the race car, a purpose-built Le Mans weapon that beat Ferrari 4 years running and only ever pretended to be a road car. Put simply, it's not an answer to the dark horse. It's in a different universe, and it's earned a video all of its own, which is exactly what it's getting next. That's the real story these cars tell. Modern engineering won the numbers so completely that what we treasure in the classics is everything the numbers can't hold: the surface, the sound, the scarcity, and the soul. Which of these 8 would you park in your garage next to a brand new dark horse? Drop your pick in the comments. And if you want to see the one Ford that doesn't just beat a dark horse but laps it, that GT40 story is up next. Subscribe so you don't miss it, and I'll see you there.